Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I'm the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Well, I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're having a good morning. Man, I slept till nearly 5:30 this morning. I couldn't believe it. Wow. Slaggard. Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's good to have you back with me. Like I said, I hope you had a great weekend. I got to work on one of my old Mustangs, dropping a new motor in a little 88 Mustang GT. Going to be a hot rod. And anyway, it was a good weekend for me. I'm attempting to answer some objections and questions that have been posed by some of our regular viewers. And let me say how much I really appreciate hearing, hearing from you, even if you disagree. We can disagree without being disagreeable, and so that's what I very much attempt to do. Now, by the way, let me remind you, Christmas is coming up, and for all of my YouTube viewers, I'm offering 25% off of all of my books, okay? Now, today's program, I have been asked to demonstrate how it is that historic Christianity differed from what the Bible actually says on these key eschatological elements. Well, I don't know of a more foundational difference, a more critical difference, and that has to do with the nature of the kingdom. I mean, after all, 99.9% of the evangelical world says, the kingdom's got to come one of these days visibly. Got to be manifested. My dispensational friends say we got to have a literal kingdom right here on earth. And even though the amillennial and the postmillennial world, they like to say, oh, well, the kingdom is not of this world, they turn right around and say the kingdom must be, one of these days, visibly manifested. They say that at the end of the millennium, at least postmillennialists do, that the kingdom will be visibly manifested. It will dominate the world. It will rule the world. The amillennial world that I was raised in, that the kingdom will one day manifest itself in the most visible way possible. Well, that was a real common problem in Jesus' day. The kingdom of Israel was, of course, a nationalistic kingdom. You had David on the throne, you had Solomon on the throne, you had all those kings on the literal physical throne in literal physical Jerusalem or in the 10 northern tribes. And God said, hey, the day's coming I'm going to restore the kingdom. So Israel understood that's got to be a physical kingdom, right? Well, they failed to see, just like modern day evangelical Christianity has failed to see, that the Old Covenant kingdom was not the determinative goal of God. They failed to see that nationalistic, geopolitical, military kingdom was a shadow of spiritual things that were to come. Ask yourself the question. If Jesus was to restore that kind of a kingdom, geopolitical, military, nationalistic kingdom, in John chapter 6, the Jews offered him that kingdom. How did Jesus respond? Now remember, I came into this world to be a king, Jesus said, John chapter 18. I was born for this reason. So Jesus came to be a king. He came to establish the kingdom. John chapter 6, Jesus perceived that they were about to come and make him king. Here's the opportunity. Here's the opportunity to restore the kingdom. When Jesus perceived that they were about to come and make him king, he withdrew himself. Wait a minute. If he came to establish what they wanted, and if they wanted what he came to establish, why in the world did he reject it? And then later, as a result of Jesus' rejection of that kingdom, why did they then reject him? I mean, is what we've got going on here just a humongous case of what we have here is a failure to communicate? You movie buffs will remember that line. Look, I discussed this issue, the nature of the kingdom, the nature of the parousia, in this book, Like Father, Like Son, on Clouds of Glory. I don't know of another book out there that discusses in more detail, with more documentation, the nature of the kingdom, and thus the nature of the parousia. And I'll have more to say about this tomorrow, in tomorrow's segment. But remember, 25% off until Christmas. This book has been called, by scholars and laymen alike, the most definitive discussion of the nature of the parousia that is currently available. So let me encourage you to get a copy of Like Father, Like Son, on Clouds of Glory. But again, ask yourself the question: if Jesus came to establish the kind of nationalistic, geopolitical, military kingdom that the Jews wanted, why did he turn them down? And if they wanted what he was ostensibly offering, the restoration of that geopolitical, militaristic, nationalistic kingdom, if that's what they wanted, then why did they kill him? Hey, look, this is a huge problem. And it demonstrates the complete disconnect in so many ways between modern evangelical Christianity and the biblical doctrine of the kingdom as well as the parousia. Hey, thanks for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. We will see you on the flip side.